Awesome. Let's just jump right into this one, shall we? Oh god, this mic's giving me trouble again. What up, Suns fans? Suns drop another lowly loss to the Orlando Magic this time, as we are now 9-6 on the season. The Suns lose 99 to 109. We will talk all about this and more in just a few seconds.
Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
I'm getting really sick of this, and I bet you are too. Just these nights of not being able to compete. The Suns once again put up a pretty rough game to sit through once again for us Suns fans here. As if you know ball, Suns just can't simply compete right now. On our injury report, I didn't get one out today, but on our injury report, we had three of our players from our starting lineup being out. That being Yusuf Nurkic, KD is still out, and Bradley Bill. So without those three important uh, just players to the Suns starting lineup, it's another rough night. And depending on what kind of Suns fan you ask, we only need apparently two of those. no, no use of Nurkic there, but I'd argue the other. But we could have definitely needed him tonight. But then again, the Suns still had trouble competing tonight. Tonight's battlefield was surprisingly a defensive one, as the Orlando came in today's game. I didn't even know this, but they came in today being apparently one of the highest ranked defense in the league. I did not know that beforehand, and it just became like another thing because like the Suns games have been really tough recently. So just going from the big three in Sacramento to this weird Frankensteinish whatever the Timberwolves are to now a defensive headed Orlando team. It's getting tiring at this point. I'm sick of these games where we can't have a chance at winning. I exaggerate a little right there because we did have a chance at winning. We always have a chance at winning. We had a chance to win yesterday's game. Um, then we dropped that one. We had a chance to win tonight's game, as even though we got blasted by the Magic, they only held a 19-point lead, which then we were able to bring to 10 in the final like 5 minutes of this game. But the Suns, since tonight's, there's a reason I put an emphasis on this game being a battlefield defensively, is because the Suns couldn't get a stop. They couldn't get anything out there. The Orlando Magic was just too dominant in the paint for us. Again, we struggle with interior defense and just defense in general tonight. And we dropped one. The Orlando Magic ended up shooting 51.3% from the paint this entire game. So yeah, it was pretty hard getting a stop, especially when we really needed it. And we drop another one without KD. So this now makes it a 1-5. Hold up. Yep, we are 1-5. Sorry, I wrote it down there. 1-5 without KD since KD has been injured. KD feels like a ghost on this team now. It's actually felt like years since I've seen what basketball is supposed to actually be. Um, I saw I forgot Bradley Bill was on this team. That's crazy. And this team's just really missing the impact and the effects from KD. But I mean, hopefully this is some good news around here. Sorry. Uh this should be the last game we're playing without KD. I believe he's projected um, to come back by next game. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's a thing, right? So I thought, okay, so this is where the schedule gets really interesting because I knew that a 5 day break is coming up. The schedule has been rough. All right. Apparently, we've played 5 games out of the last 7 days, which is just crazy. That's just so crazy. 5 games out of 7 days is just crazy. And yeah, it's just without KD, it's hard to contend with this team. So I believe KD is scheduled to at least come back. Um, I'm looking at this now. Should be at least scheduled to come back on New York. Or at least I saw it somewhere that he's scheduled to come back. But I cannot wait. Hopefully he comes back. And if not by next game, which is on Wednesday against the New York Knicks, it's going to be another scary game if we don't have our starters. Um, but if he's not back then, he's definitely back when we face the LA Lakers. Again, third time. The schedule's brutal. We can't catch a break, man. That one's on the 26th. So pretty good resting days in between. But back to the game here. Just rough. No defense. And I think uh, tonight was at least shadowed. Like, at least I had fun in the fact that tonight we got to see the Phoenix Suns' new City Edition jerseys. I think now is a pretty good time to talk about the City Editions. Um, I'm pretty mixed on them. When I first saw the leaks coming out, I was kind of not too sure about them. Um, I really didn't like the number font. I believe I've said this actually before, but I did not like the number font on the jersey. That's just overall mixed on them. But as they've come closer to releasing, and that court, man, that court was the best part about tonight. That is the best court out there. I love the whole retro vibe it has out there. Love the discoloration on some of the boards out there. The green arc, amazing. It's beautiful. Whoever did that, amazing. Jerseys, still a little mixed on them, but I think I've definitely warmed up to them. I just really dig the green, orange, and black stripes they got lining their jerseys. Always a fan of purple. Purple's always nice. Okay, you slap purple on anything, it's gonna look nice. The Western font is pretty nice, and I'm still having a little bit of an issue with the number font, but it didn't look. It looked good out there. Like, it wasn't too. My big kind of complaints about it was that it's a little too cartoonish, but it looked fine out there. So I've definitely warmed up to against it, towards it. So tonight was our first City Edition wearables. We wore our first City Edition as our first go of them, and they look nice. So getting back to the game here, pretty mixed lineup. So we're still testing with lineups. So Nurkic played last game, but now he's back to being out on the injury report. So now someone's got to take up his mantle. And last game, we saw a really interesting lineup that Coach Bud threw out there. This two tower kind of like replicated what Minnesota was doing, where we had Plumlee and Nurkic out there. Really interesting lineup. That it was weird. I laughed about it, but it actually proved out to be really good. Um, as it allowed Booker to get a lot of open shots. So we tried replicating that this game, but since there's no Nurkic, we got to see Oso. Oso got his first official start of the season as being a Suns rookie tonight, and he did amazing. Oso, this has been the Oso stretch of games. Again, It's just nice seeing our rookies out there. It's nice seeing all this youth development. I don't know if I could call them youth because I think I'm the same age as Oso and Ryan Dunn. I don't know their exact age, but I don't know if I could call them youth, especially speaking from my angle. But also amazing. Despite the loss, he still looked good. He's even on this episode's thumbnail because he had two amazing dunks out there, emphatic dunks, and they were just awesome to watch. Holy crap. Great energy. They just bring energy out there. Also, specifically in this stretch, Ryan Dunn. We'll get a little more into him, but just to finish out my tangent about Oso here, he had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So I mean, he's still getting better on his defensive side, but he held his own tonight. He wasn't a total liability out there, which is crazy. Just seeing how much they learn and pick up out there. So a really amazing night effort from Oso, and we're seeing a lot from him. Now let's switch to his twin on the other side and talk about Ryan Dunn here. Ryan Dunn has had a pretty lackluster couple of last games, and tonight was also kind of lackluster. He had 5 points, 104 from three. Sorry, I ate during this game, by the way, so I am full of burps. This is crazy. Um, Ryan Dunn, 5 points. He had 6 rebounds. Honestly, kind of, he's been kind of over these last couple of games. Definitely not comparable to the start that Ryan Dunn has had to this season, and that's fine. Rookies will go. Even professional players, the stars of this league, have their slumps in but honestly, I think personally, why we could be seeing this Ryan Dunn weird stretch of time is honestly because we're forcing him to do a lot more than what he was literally brought here and was taught to do. Like, I think he worked really well during the beginning stretch of this season, the 9-1 stretch. Um, Mostly because he was a 3-and-D guy, the 3-and-D architect, archetype. My bad. Just switch threes, which he was good at, to fill in the gaps whenever we asked him to cut, and also just play and bring that defense. That was his role, just on this team during that 9-1 start to the season. But because of injuries and literally Ryan Dunn having to step in for KD, he is at the power forward spot. He is stepping in for KD. That's some big shoes to fill and a lot to ask from your rookie. So I could definitely see why Ryan Dunn has had a slower stretch to this. It's just this, what, 6 games now, or 5 games? Hold on, 6 games without KD. So hopefully we'll see Ryan Dunn bounce back once we start getting our players back from the injury pits. So um, for now, Ryan Dunn's doing a fine enough job. I mean, not really fine because we're not winning games, but he's trying to do the best he can to like fill the shoes. But hopefully, we'll get that amazing start to the season, Ryan Dunn back once we get KD back. Okay, so the rookies, both of them got the start for tonight. So that was really interesting to see, and they played well off of each other. Um, this is really interesting because now we have to talk about Book again. I'm not wearing my Book jersey tonight, and honestly, when you're facing the number one defense, Orlando Magic, it's pretty hard to get up a shot if your name is Book. Okay, he was 5 of 14, 1 of 7, and I honestly think that you know Book's had it rough, man. These past couple of games. I know I was singing a different tune, and he needs to step up to be a scorer. He's trying, but what can you do against a triple team? I believe he actually said it like after the OKC game. He's like I left those days behind of fighting over double and triple teams, which I don't really know how to respond to that. But I mean, the dude's getting old, so and I don't want him injured. The last thing we need on this team is an injured book. So I'll give him that. You think things are worse now? Try this team without our big three. Okay, so at least someone is still here. So I mean, book just another rough night. They're once again double teaming him. Orlando just really apparently the tallest team in the NBA, so that also doesn't help with Book's playing stature. But I mean, Orlando did ease up on the defense in the fourth, and that's kind of what led the Suns to a big fourth quarter effort. We ended up outscoring the Magic 31-25 in the fourth quarter. Although it was great, a big answer, and definitely what this game needed from it being a huge blowout, like a 20-point blowout. But still, fair well shy of what we needed to do to win this game. So, Book, rough night, 17 points. I mean, just perfect from free throw line. That's great. I'm glad that he is taking these free throw line chances, not lighthearted like most of this other team. It's kind of refreshing from that standpoint because, boy, this team misses a lot of free throws, a lot of crucial free throws, by the way. When we do get foul calls, oh, oh no. I don't know if you guys seen this, if you guys keep up that much with Suns on Twitter, but if you do, if you even dip your toes into that little pool, you would have noticed that the NBA has released like a ref report of yesterday's game winner. Oh, you know, the one where Josh Okogie flopped? Well, that one they did look over it and it was deemed the correct call. But they also missed the call like a couple seconds before of a travel. Julius Randle traveled in that final play. So they, if you watch the broadcast tonight, I believe it was either Eddie Johnson or it was Tom Leaders. I can't believe I've watched this many like Suns games and I don't know his name. That's kind of embarrassing at this point. Um, but you know, it was one of them. They mentioned about how they the NBA has had a lot of traveled game winners. All right, just a few days before this one, Jason Tatum traveled on a three that ended up being a game winner against the Toronto Raptors. So, coincidence that we've had Julius Randle travel to a game-winning three in front of the Suns? My kind of question is, what's going to be done? Where's the justice in the NBA? Because we know they're not gonna like rewrite those. We're not gonna play that game. That's a game we're just not gonna get back now. I mean, still the fault. It's still on the fault of the Suns because we had three chances to score during that last little bit. But I mean, come on, man, these refs, dude, and the refs were again pretty awful tonight. We've also seen a weird stretch of Bud like mismanaging his challenges. Last game against Minnesota, he challenged at like a pretty bad time. Therefore, we lost the ability to challenge, and that would have been very crucial during the last moments of the game. And in this game, we kind of wasted our challenge a little too early as well, as we could have definitely challenged some calls later on that would have helped us swing momentum in the fourth when we really needed it. But, you know, if you want a reason why the Suns simply didn't just walk away with this game, it's because they failed to play defense and they failed to play just get offense. I mean, Book really took over in the fourth. That's because Orlando faded with their defense. They just kind of gave up on the Suns. If you don't believe me, I'm sure there's a stat somewhere out there of Orlando's turnovers in the fourth. It just looked like they came out pretty careless. But I mean, they were just so easily scoring in the inside paint that it really didn't matter because they always had an answer for when we answered. So, still a rough night for Book. Um, I'm tempted to say he's still here. I just he needs KD in there. Someone to give him space. Someone needs to help our man out there. Okay? Who's going out there? I'm not going out there. Someone needs to go out there. Okay? Anyway, so along with Book, 17 points. Pretty rough, pretty rough, pretty rough. Tyus Jones ended up being the game's leading scorer as he went off in the first quarter. He got like all those 18 points in the first half and then faded for the rest of this game. Pretty rough. We had him take 11 threes out there because he's the only offense guy that we had out there. Okay, okay. And he had 8 assists. So I mean, Tyus Jones, still amazing, still like what he does on this team. Just still pretty mixed, pretty mixed, pretty mixed. And lastly, for our starting lineup discussion here, Mason Plumley had an all right night. I mean, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He actually had a really, really good play. All right. There's a specific play I'd like to bring up here that I found interesting, that I really loved. All right. So picture this with me. All right. Book. The play starts with Book. He's in the corner somewhere beyond the arc. All right. He brings up the ball, or maybe Tyus brings up the ball, passes the Book. Book gets naturally double teamed. He tosses out of the double team into Oso. He's sitting at the top of the key, free throw line, right? And then in comes Mason Plumley, running baseline, cut into the basket, and Oso uses his nice passing skills, which was something that he was scouted on. Like that was one of his skills coming from the draft. Uses his nice passing skills, bounces it to Mason Plumley, dunk. Mm, that was a good play. That was the only time that the Suns decided to play good basketball for a second. And then the rest of the game happened. I miss having this, seeing this team just compete. It's almost like losing your magic. Your magic. Um, you know, the color just fades everywhere. Food tastes less good. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Um, we just need another streaky night. Let's get into this bench here. Another streaky night for our buddy Royce O'Neal. Again, I think my logic about Ryan Dunn here being stretched into a different roles could also be maybe applied to here about Royce O'Neal, but I'm not too sure about that as he did start one time, but other than that, he's been like a sixth man for the rest of these nights. And he's still very streaky. I don't know if he's just tired or what, or if he's got like some kind of injury or he's sick or something, but it's been pretty rough for him to find any open shots out there. He was 0-5 from the 3 point line, 1 of 8. He had only 2 points and 7 rebounds. Just another bad night. Okay, I don't want to point the fingers here, but maybe I had something to do with this. I don't remember the exact dates, but I mean I did make a short that was like Royce O'Neal, 6 men of the year, and then he proceeded to like play the worst basketball of his career. Okay, so I get it. I can't talk good about my players, huh? I can't talk. This sucks. But Josh Okogie, speaking of, I haven't talked about Josh Okogie, so we're safe on that front. Okay, Josh Okogie, another great night, 11 points. He was 2-2 on his threes. He might actually be back, people. This might be the run. The Josh Okogie, the Josh Sanity might be entering Phoenix, boys. 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and just 11 points. All right. He's been doing this for like 3 games now. Ever since we started using him, I forget when his first game was back in the Suns lineup. It may have been like a Sacramento game. Yeah, I believe it was a Sacramento game. Uh, but it was like over this last 3 game stretch, Josh Okogie has just been really good. A really good effort. No, he played the Dallas game. How long has been Josh Okogie been active? Holy crap. Yeah, I remember him being in that Dallas game. Okay, so Josh Okogie. I mean, how many games does Josh Okogie have to have for him to be like not a surprise anymore? That he's just good, you know? And that's a question to all you Suns fans out there. How many games do you need to see? How many good games of Josh Okogie do you need to see until he's just considered good in our minds? Because I'm still a little shaky after him last year, and it's just the absolute fall off from like being a starter from the beginning of last season to barely see minutes in the postseason, being like trash minutes. So I mean, Josh Kogi, he's been amazing. We gave him that huge raise, unnecessary raise, if you ask me, in the offseason. So maybe he's earning it. Very different from what us Suns fans have seen in the past. So I mean, Josh Kogi, just been amazing. Uh, Maybe he's bumping up his trade value. I mean, I'd like him. I'd like to trade him if he continues playing like this until trade deadline. That's a really nice trade option. Okay, you know he's raising up his stats. He seems pretty good. He seems pretty energetic. Pretty a good option to ship him off and get some like more defensive guys on this team because that's what this team is missing. Defense. We need that interior defense. And we need, like I've been saying, and probably most other Suns talking heads out there, is that the Suns are really like one good trade away from being that championship contender. I could feel it. I could feel it. So anyway, enough talking about Josh Okogie. That will be an interesting story to developing later into the season as we go. Grayson Allen, also a great, amazing night. I, I mean, there might be some Suns fans out there that aren't that high on Grayson Allen, but like once you look at the numbers, he followed up last night's 18-point efforts off the bench with a 17-point effort tonight. He has some crazy threes out there. He was 4 of 9 from three, 5 of 10. He had 4 rebounds and assists, although did have 2 turnovers. So I mean, Josh Kogi, his mind, he's still in my mind. Grayson Allen, that a great effort. That baby is giving him superpowers now. Okay. Uh, yeah, pretty amazing night from him. That's all that needs to be said about that. We'll just leave that where it is. Monte Morris got some action tonight. Really started, like, really worked on that kind of floater action. He was pretty necessary in trying to keep this game competitive. So that was nice. Now, here's an unexpected one for you. Bol didn't appear in trash minutes because there was no trash minutes this game, but he did appear in the first half. I think it was the second quarter. He started the second quarter. Bol played 6 minutes tonight, and he generated 1 point. This victory would have been a 98 victory, huh? Sit on that, Suns fans. Sit on that. How do you like that? Okay. Let's be thankful us Suns fans have Bol. This would have been an 11-point loss if it weren't for Bol. Mike dropped. Do I have an explosion sound on this? I do not have an explosion sound on this. That's rough because that was an explosion sound moment. Do we even want to look at? Should we even look at the standings? I am kind of regretting that. Or not really regretting it, but like, um, wasn't wasn't Cavs and Celtics supposed to play tonight, or was that later? I think that may have been later because there's no games of that. I think that might be tomorrow. All right. Well, Suns still sit at the fifth seed mark. Now 9-6. It is crazy going 9-1 or 8-1, and then dropping to 1-5 in the last couple of games. The Suns are now officially 5-5 in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, everyone in the freaking 1 through 6 seed are either 7-3, or 6-4, or Golden State Warriors 8-2. Ugh, that is disgusting. We just need something to go our way, man. We need we need a hero. And once we get that good win, we're gonna be up here. Honestly, that Timberwolves game last night, that was so bogus. Took some win out of the sails. We could have had at least one good victory in this time without KD, but we didn't. And we've become more than a footnote in the West. It's a tough life being a Suns fan. Just having to live. yeah. Just being a Suns fan. That's tough. So I mean, that's about it tonight. We got to see the Suns City Edition. Pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. I do dig the idea and the kind of vibe around it. The court is cool. We've got some nice jerseys. It's a shame we're only gonna wear them 9 more times, though. That is crazy. What was the point of making them if we're only gonna have 9 more attempts with them? Okay. I am rambling here. So that is all we have for today's show. We will be back here Wednesday in 2 days again, where we will be facing the New York Knicks. Give me a break. Are you kidding me? Hopefully, we'll get some good news on KD. Maybe Bill. I think Bill might take a little more longer because he got injured more recently than KD. So it might be a while until we see the big three together again. But hopefully, let's pray for some good news on KD. Okay? And let's get back to winning like the NBA was made for. So that's it from me. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, please like, comment, subscribe. What do you think about the Suns so far this season? And yeah, have a good night, and Suns up.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.